Hey everybody, welcome to the Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Montana Finley. My guest at this time, as we move our table a little bit, publisher of Marion County News, David Raleigh. How you doing today?
Doing well. Making my heart slow down after I tried to break the table,
but hey, table's still intact.
Yeah, so far so good. Hopefully we won't argue so much that we start breaking the table at each other. So.
Or we might, stay tuned and find out.
Better TV.
Yeah. Well, we're still trying to, figure things out, kind of find our place and what we're going to do with this show, kind of moving forward. We don't want to get teams involved and kind of be the reason that a team would have to put a halt to their season and cancel a game. That's kind of what we don't want to do for very obvious reasons. So you're stuck with us today. Hopefully you like it. But we do have some things to talk about. Last week we saw all three of our county teams, football teams, in action. I know you went to South Pittsburg versus Whitwell.
I did. And look, obviously the Pirates came away with a convincing win. Both teams looked rough after 2 weeks without any games. And, credit to the Pirates because no matter what went wrong, they always were, okay, let's go to the next play. Okay, we made 60, let's go to the next play. It was always about building where they were. And in the first half, obviously, they amassed a 14-0 lead. The Whitwell, they are not afraid to run up the middle, which I have no problem with that strategy as long as it doesn't prove unsuccessful. And I felt like they stuck with that, hoping that they would wear down the Pirates' front four, on the defensive line. And, they did finally start doing some outside runs. Chandler Britton, I believe, very good at getting a few steps coming over the side and gave them some gains. I think he also had a reception. But I'll tell you who I was impressed with, Mordecai Therium for Whitwell. That boy played from second one to the last second. He was all over the place, and he would block, he would run, he would receive, whatever needed to be done. He made himself available for that. Now, all that said, Whitwell has a long way to go. Their line is going to have to find their footing, perhaps figuratively as well as literally, but they're going to have to be able to give Easterly at quarterback some time. The Pirates are a hard team to do that against because they've got so much speed on both sides of the ball, and frankly, once they got to halftime and they were still within reach, the 14-0 deficit, I think they may have walked back on with a little more confidence than they should have. And the Pirates exploited it and beat the snot. I mean, within the first 16 seconds of the second half, Jaden Mount's running into the end zone. So once that kind of deflated, the Tigers now Ricky Hunter did a great job. I think that he did some 3 steps and probably waited longer than he had to, but I think it allowed his receiver to get more distance, and he's got the arm that he can pull that off. I think you got to be concerned about any, somebody with a lesser arm giving that much time for the secondary to catch up to your receiver. But he had the weapons, he had the arm. I was really impressed with his decision making. And again, things went wrong. They had a mishandle on the snap. He didn't panic. He got down on it and huddled up. Let's fix that. I'm really impressed with that. Rakesh Tipton, thank you. Had another great game. He is that weapon that kind of sits out on the side a little bit, and so you're expecting DeAndre to perform. You're expecting Reggie to perform, and if you cater your defense to those 2 players, Rakesh is an awesome relief valve, to kind of keep them off their catch defenses flat-footed, and that's exactly what he did. All in all, obviously there's been some drama in the Pirates program, but in the second half, you wouldn't have known it.
And actually, I saw from our guest last week, Stephen Hargis, he put a video on Twitter. It's been going around Facebook, and it was actually Coach Stone, his pregame speech to the team. And it was pretty moving stuff. I'm sure several people watching this know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'm sure it's out there somewhere else. Yeah, somewhere on Facebook you'll come across it. But just gave a very moving speech. I was ready to run through a wall and go back for stop his.
Well, I was more interested in what he must have said at the halftime than because they did. They came out and they played their ball in the second half. That was what I was used to. Now, you followed Marion County.
I was, we've had a little bit of a weird sort of week here at the paper. We've been kind of trying to work things out, see what the best options are. And I wasn't able to go to the game, but I did watch, someone posted a live stream of the game on YouTube, so I was able to watch the game from home and kind of take notes and see what Marion County did. And they beat Bledsoe 31-10. Sort of the same kind of deal. I mean, less points scored in the second half, but it was 10-10 going into the half.
Oh.
And one of those things where Bledsoe got the ball first. They had a very slow, meticulous, just inching away kind of drive. They went for it and converted on 4th down 2 times in that opening drive.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of interesting to see what kind of ball game is this going to be with Bledsoe just slowly moving the ball. They
ate up the clock.
Ate up a lot of clock in the first quarter. Marion County didn't need a lot of clock though, because as soon as they got the ball, their first play on offense, Tay Hutchins took off for a 60-yard touchdown.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It was one of those where 2 very different looking drives, 2 very different styles of offense. And I think in the second half, Marion County was just able to I think they may have been a little bit fresher. I don't know if they were the better conditioned team. I don't want to throw stones at Bledsoe County, but that's what it looked like to me, because they were able to kind of halt the Bledsoe offense, and then once they got the ball back, it was still the same quick pace scoring. There were 3, maybe 4 touchdowns of over 50 yards in that game.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, now was Marion going pretty deep in their bench, or were they just using people?
It was the same sort of guys that you have heard about from Marion County this season. Definitely Tay Hutchins, Riley Rogers. Alex Condra, he took off for a 85-yard touchdown in the second half there. So maybe defensively there were some more subs, but on offense they didn't. Past the halftime break, once they came back for the second half, it was guns blazing. They didn't have to substitute many guys because they didn't stay on the field very long. So, but that was an exciting one. It was, the first half was definitely much closer, but I think Marion County just sort of wore them down, and by the time they got out there for the second half, they were able to seal the deal.
Ready to pack it in, go home.
That was a tough one to write about because you want to put the team name in there. You want to be like the Warriors.
Warriors versus the Warriors.
Well, which Warriors are you talking about?
Yeah, that's always a tough. That's a tough needle to thread right there. Mm-hmm. And North Jackson was taking on Madison Academy, and they were unable to scratch the scoreboard at all. And so. Not a tremendous. There were some clips available on that game, and unfortunately, it was all Madison County or Madison Academy. So that puts them at 2-2. With, I believe, it puts them 1-1 in their division. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm almost sure. But right now, they are, they are looking hot streak or not streak. I mean, it's when everything clicks, it goes very well for them. When it doesn't click, it doesn't go well at all for them. So, but yeah, of course, they're under the. We got a bunch of new coaches and new coaches in our four teams right here. So, but it'll be interesting. I mean, they're holding their own, frankly, right now, because you don't. With a brand new coach, you tend to have
especially with the season that we're kind of having the past few years. So.
Yeah,
2-2 is not the worst that they could be after.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit more North Jackson. They got a big game coming up Friday. First, we're going to take a break. You'll have to watch some ads, but when we get back, we got some preview football, so we'll be back after this. Yeah.
They're back. Western Sizzlin' is now open, offering kitchen menu items including their new grilled Atlantic salmon. Or enjoy side items like fried okra, baked potatoes, macaroni and cheese, a new salad bar, fresh baked yeast rolls, and dessert choices. At Western Sizzlin', full catering service is available, as well as parties of up to 10 per table. For their to-go customers, Western Sizzlin' is now offering delivery with dinnerdelivered.com or curbside pickup at 423-942-5777. Come on by and give Western Sizzlin' a try and enjoy their new hours. That's right, Western Sizzlin' is now open 7 days a week, 10:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. Western Sizzlin', located just off I-24 at exit 155, 1130 Tennessee Highway 28 in Jasper. Western Sizzlin', they can't wait to serve you. And don't forget, now offering delivery with dinnerdelivered.com or curbside pickup at 942-5777. Western Sizzlin'.
B&B Recycling is proud to support the Coach's Corner. Committed to providing honest and quality customer service under new ownership, Paul Blevins and crew are waiting to fulfill all your everyday and commercial scrap metal needs. For prices and hours, call 256-437-9999 or find B&B Recycling on Facebook. That's 256-437-9999 and ask about free container services for commercial accounts. Back to the show. Hey everybody, we're back with the Coach's Corner. Before we left, we kind of recapped last week's matchups. And we have some fun matchups coming up this Friday, as you're watching this, Wednesday, Thursday, whenever you may be watching. Friday, the 24th, we're going to have a handful of matchups. I want to start with Marion County. They're back at home this week.
Yeah.
They're playing Forest High School, the Rockets, at Chapel Hill, Tennessee. It's maybe about 2 hours away from us, so long drive for them.
Yeah, they're playing pretty well. They're outscoring opponents 67-21 for their first 4 games. So it is, it'll be a good matchup. I think there'll be some different sets. Of course, Forest, as you mentioned, is a couple miles outside of our imprint, so don't have a lot available on them. But probably the most non-notorious matchup this coming week is Whitwell's traveling to Red Bowling Springs, take on the Bulldogs.
I'd like to think any matchup that Whitwell goes into at this point. I mean, they've seen South Pittsburg. That's going to be one of their tougher games this year, to be fair, not to just.
Well, it'll be interesting. Red Bowling Springs 1 and 2, and from what I've been able to see that's available, they're not a tremendously complicated offensive set. I don't want to oversimplify it, but basically they're running 4 plays, and I think Whitwell, if they'll stay focused and not get over celebratory over one play and just play the way that they're capable of, I think there's a chance here. But their consistency is going to be the cornerstone for that.
Whitwell's still searching for that first touchdown of the season. They put up 3 points, field goal against South Pittsburg.
And apparently that was a school record, which I didn't know until.
Really? That was a long one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. And
50 yarder.
Yeah, I was covering the game, and I'll be very honest, I almost used the kick as time to go through photos, because I was like, there's no way he's going, well, sure as I do that, he's going to make that. So I did take a picture of it. So I was wise enough to give it, because David Perdue has a good leg, but at this level, that's I don't care who you are. And ironically, Keown and Perdue are probably 2 of a handful at this level that could actually make those kicks. So, but yeah, that was fun, and he very well may be important, because if they can inch into the end zone, they're going to need him to break. If there's a 20-30 yard field goal that's going to make the difference, they're going to need somebody capable of doing it.
And our final matchup here from the area is one that I know a lot of people are excited about, and it's South Pittsburg traveling past the state line to North Jackson High School.
Yeah, there's not many times South Pittsburg is going to be called the northern team, so.
Not very often, no. No, this is one of the rare cases where they will be, but
this ought to be, honestly, unless there is some dramatic changes on North Jackson's side of the ball, this could be a runaway for South Pittsburg. If North Jackson lets them get up, and I mean, you're still in reach, 2 touchdowns in the first half, but my suspicion is that Pirates are going to be back in game mode from minute 1 instead of minute 1 of the third quarter.
Yeah.
And I think unless North Jackson does something profoundly different and is able to surprise the Pirates, I think this could be a pretty disheartening game for North Jackson.
I know this is one that just hearing from players that used to play at South Pittsburg, that this is one that they wish they could have played in. This is one that probably since before my time, before I was even around, 1980s, this one has been kind of brewing. So
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I hope it's a good matchup. I hope it's a good, clean game. Without Pirates and Warriors, this may be for the next couple of seasons. This may be the rival game for everybody here locally. So we'll see.
We will see. That one's going to be exciting. We're going to take another short break here. When we get back, we got some college football scores to go over, sort of preview next Saturday. I know Saturdays are always big, so. All right, this is the Coach's Corner. We'll be right back.
Harbin Automotive, located at 570 Micah Way in Scottsboro, has over 600 vehicles in stock and guarantees with Harbin's value pricing. Any customer can rest assured they're paying the lowest price anywhere in the nation on every model line that Harbin has in stock. Providing a range of new, used, and certified pre-owned vehicles, anyone at Harbin Automotive, from the knowledgeable staff of the Business Development Center to the fully staffed finance department, all Harbin employees can help customers find the price and style they're searching for, while the service department can get that new car ready to be driven from the lot or the showroom in a matter of minutes. Shopping for a new or used vehicle can be a big decision. However, that doesn't mean it can't be one that's enjoyed by everyone. Visit Harbin Automotive, 570 Micah Way in Scottsboro, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. till 7 p.m., Saturday, 7:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. Call 256-259-6400 or shop online anytime at harbinautomotive.com. Make the short drive and save at Harbin Automotive, Scottsboro, Alabama.
I look to the tower for vision because someday I'll have to send him to college, and I want to be ready.
We look to the tower for strength because cash flow sometimes doesn't flow at all. You need a strong partner behind you.
My family looks to the tower for innovation.
Well, that and lollipops for the children.
Look to the tower. Tower Community Bank. A higher standard. TowerCommunityBank.com.
B&B Recycling is proud to support the Coach's Corner. Committed to providing honest and quality customer service under new ownership, Paul Blevins and crew are waiting to fulfill all your everyday and commercial scrap metal needs. For prices and hours, call 256-437-9999 or find B&B Recycling on Facebook. That's 256-437-9999 and ask about free container services for commercial accounts. Back to the show.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Before we went to our break, we were sort of previewing Friday's matchups, and I know Saturdays are a big day as well around here, so I wanted to start off with last Saturday, Tennessee, the Vols. They beat Tennessee Tech 56-0. That's a big win. They always...
Vols needed a break.
Yeah, they needed that one. And they're going to have a tough one next week as they play Florida, who Florida just came off of a very close game with Alabama, the number one team in the nation. And this is what I was saying earlier is I don't know if there's going to be a team play Alabama as close as Florida did in that last. I mean, they were maybe a yard shy of tying the game up in the fourth quarter there. So
that may be true, but had you told me it was going to be Florida at the beginning of the season, I would have called you bonkers too.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. One of those any given day, any given team things.
Yeah. And Florida being in the SEC East, they're going to have to play Georgia at some point. Those seem like the two teams that are sort of competing for that top spot in the East, at least.
Yeah.
And so we may see Florida versus Alabama again in the SEC championship. I mean, like you say, you never know. Any given Saturday, anything could happen. Alabama could drop an egg and lose to Southern Miss this weekend, for all we know. So,
well, I suppose yes, that is conceivable.
Maybe not probable. I don't know if it's probable.
putting anybody on that outcome, but yeah, Alabama, honestly, I felt like they should have lost a little bit of trajectory in the AP votes, and they actually picked up votes. Yes, you got the win, but obviously somebody started finding some chinks in your armor, and I don't know. Strangely enough, they don't ask for my vote. So,
Well, if they asked for my vote, this is I thought that Florida team could be one of the few cases where you lose and go up in the polls because.
yeah.
I mean, as much as people may not want to hear it, Alabama is not going to be an easy team to beat. So,
Yeah.
taking them the distance and having a close game that comes down to the wire, it's impressive in itself.
Well, and Florida's, we're not looking at a first week fluke either. This is people finding their footing, and so I don't think this was a fluke. I think Alabama probably saw some things that they're going to account for moving forward, and because they don't like playing close games. They like blowouts because they get more of their people off the bench, and they get, they want to keep people healthy. They want to have a deep bench for the postseason, so they like running out ahead early, and Florida kept them from doing it. So, but elsewhere, to me, Iowa still continues to impress me overall. They play Colorado State this week. Given what they've shown so far, should not be a huge game for them. Probably the keys here are make sure everybody comes out healthy. But Oklahoma plays West Virginia. West Virginia having a good run, but this will be their first top 25 opponent. But everybody else in the top 10 should have success this week. Georgia, number 2, plays Vanderbilt. Oregon plays Arizona. Penn State takes on Villanova. Exception game being Texas A&M and Arkansas. I think that has a chance to be a good game. Cincinnati has a bye. I'd like to think they won't find a way to make a loss out of that. Clemson, who I know dropped down to number 9, they're going to be against NC State. And Ohio State, rounding out top 10, is taking on Akron. So not a lot of powerhouse, decision games in there.
Outside of the Texas A&M and Arkansas game, that could be one that, makes or breaks the season either way for both of those teams.
I hope it's a good game. Proximity, I hope that's a good game, but I hope I don't see a lot of movement in the top 10 based on these games. Beating a D3 team by 65 points does not merit moving around in the AP top, in my opinion. But you'll soon see how much that'll be disproven.
Well, this is just one fun thing I wanted to talk about, and I do think it speaks to the community here in Marion County.
Yeah.
All the time for the past 3 weeks now, I'm seeing a lot of ETSU, East Tennessee State, on my Facebook page. People sharing pictures and videos from how they're doing, as they have Marion County High School alum Jacob Sailors, and
absolutely,
he had himself a ball game last Saturday. He had 11 carries, 109 yards.
Yeah,
close to a first down every time he touched the ball, and 2 touchdowns to go along with it.
Is he a junior this year? Do you know?
That I'm not sure.
I don't remember. But yeah, and of course that comes off of player of the week for the team the week before. So,
and we have players from all our schools that go play ball at the next level at
Phoenix,
several different universities.
Jacksonville State,
Cumberland, those guys in Cumberland,
Berry College. There's a lot of guys out there that are playing football at the next level, and you're looking at the entirety of our writing staff, so our research team. So our ability to be able to dig into, to follow those players, whether it be, we've got girls basketball player, we got a lot of people that have gone on to play ball, and we just don't have the resources to follow. But congratulations to all of them.
Yeah, I just think it speaks to our community here to if once a guy goes on and does something at the next level, everyone sort of follows.
A Warriors fan can be excited for a Pirate for the first time in 4 years.
So that's always nice.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else before we wrap up?
No, I don't think so. I just want to admit that my first week phenom for Tulane has let me down the last 3 weeks. So
just a little bit.
Yeah, Michael Pratt, the quarterback, he still doesn't have a line to protect him, and yes, they're struggling.
Well, speaking of struggling, I do want to throw to a short video that I've made. It sounds better if you call it a short film, so that's what I'm going to call it, a short film that I've made. I hope you enjoy. We'll be back next week with more of the Coach's Corner. Until then.
I would get a bunch set to the top of the screen, probably across the route. Stop route to the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown. Bernie at 3 receivers, bunch to the right. Thompson Robinson steps up. He's got an open man.